It's that time of year again when flooding becomes a concern. Although flooding can happen any time of year, spring is the most common. Officials believe it won't be anything like last year, but there are some people already affected. Daryl Shaber looks over the water in Foreman Flats. He says yesterday water came up to this area where he hasn't seen it for 25 years.
We haven't had water in this low area in 25 years. We do see seepage towards the end of June in the deepest part over there, but never to this extent.
Many people living in the community have adapted their property because of the yearly rise and fall of the river.
We have a low area in the field over there that we can sandbag with about possibly a dozen sandbags, and then there's an area around the corner here on the road that we can sandbag with about a dozen sandbags, and it prevents this whole lower area from getting waterlogged.
But after yesterday's light flooding, it should be smooth sailing ahead. The river has already peaked at Shelley and at the South Fort George gauge.
The river has dropped about 40 centimeters since it peaked yesterday, so at the South Fort George gauge we're reading about 9.3 meters.
Flooding severity should be a very different picture than last year, which saw 18 homes in Prince George issued evacuation notices and several evacuation alerts in the regional district.
There's not enough snowpack this year compared to last year. Last year at this time the snowpack was around 160% of normal, and this year the snowpack at this time of year was around 119 or 120% of normal.
But it's the mighty Fraser, which is thought to have a mind of its own. Those living near it should always be somewhat prepared.